Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're excited to have Kate Garnes join us in a little bit. She's an awesome speaker. I'll introduce her a little sec. Oh, there we go. She's joined. Now let's see if we can get her to join the live. Okay, should be working here in any second. Why, hello, Kate. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So I was just telling the group, because this is the first time my group has done something like this. And this is something that I do on a weekly basis on Zoom and Facebook kind of thing, but I'm trying to get it into Instagram. So
I love it.
the idea is that it's like a visual podcast. A little 15-minute great discussion with an awesome guest such as yourself.
Awesome.
And we'll have a good time discussing things like that. Sound good?
Let's do it.
Awesome. So Kate, and I'll probably bounce back and forth between talking to you and talking to the general public because that's what I do, right?
Sure, sounds good.
So when I first met you, of course, it was on our group speaker call, and we speak to similar audiences, you to the youth, me to the young adults, that kind of thing. But it was just so nice to connect with you and know that we can be in a similar boat. I mean, that day that we met, I was going through a tough time. I needed somebody to connect to and reach out to.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciated how much you listened and cared, even though I'm sure you had all sorts of other things to do.
No, yeah, it was my pleasure. I mean, we as speakers, and not only as speakers, but as entrepreneurs right now, everybody, if you're a warm body, you have been affected by this virus. So anything that I can do, I mean, I'm still a newer speaker. I've still only been speaking about 2 years or so professionally. But any way that I can support or like encourage that's what I like to do. So
There you go. Well, it's appreciated. So continue on and tell us a bit more about yourself, what you do, who you are, and then we'll go into your exciting book.
yeah. So hey everybody, my name is Kate. I am a youth motivational speaker. So I mostly focus on teens, specifically teen leadership. But that includes, I go to a lot of high schools, middle schools, that kind of stuff. And I speak on how to find your worth and your value when no one on self-talk. So somebody made a comment to you one time. Someone called you fat. Someone said you were dumb. Someone said you didn't fit in. Someone made fun of the clothes. Became your truth and became your it became your recording. It became what you listen to and what you live by. And suddenly you're not hearing their words, you're hearing your own and you're hearing their words in your voice. And so I speak about how to redo those recordings, about how to how all of the things that we may have believed for forever could be a lie. Some of the things that people have told you aren't always truth. You aren't dumb. You aren't ugly. You aren't stupid. You aren't whatever lie you've been told. So that's a big that's kind of what I speak on. So
It's so awesome, and I think it relates to any audience. And I mean, I relate to it a ton because when we hear those things, often we react in ways like, wow, it really hurt me,
yeah.
But I'm embarrassed and maybe I feel shame, so I can't tell anybody. And I have to
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's there's a fear there. You don't want to tell anybody because there's shame and there's guilt, but also you don't want someone to then validate it again. You don't want to hear someone go, oh yeah.
Yeah. So in your book, or even now, give us a little spoiler, right? How did you get through these things, and what kind of things do you teach people when, hey, we all go through it in some way? Maybe
Yeah.
we've overcome it, maybe we're still in it. What would you say to help?
Yeah. So my book is called Mixtape: How to Stop Listening to the Recordings of Your Past. And each chapter is a different recording that I have had in my life. So some of them are I don't fit in. I need you to like me. I don't need help. Um, I don't belong here. I'm not enough. So most of the first chapters are all negative recordings. And then there's a switch where then it comes into a lot of the recordings that I have today that are healthy recordings, such as um, I am a gladiator. I am worth showing up for. I have a story that's worth hearing. So yeah, my first recording that I remember pretty vividly, I had two that happened right back to back. I had a dance teacher when I was 7 who made an offhanded comment that I wasn't good enough. Um, and like I was 7, like I was a baby, and I quit dancing. I didn't want to be in that class anymore. I was embarrassed to dance around people. Um, and now, I mean, for those of you who don't know, I am now a professional performer. When I'm not speaking, I perform at Walt Disney World and Universal Studios Orlando and have performed all over the nation. Um, but it took a long, long, long time for me to get past that recording. And then another one happened shortly after, a couple years later. Um, I was I was an only child and I played a lot by myself. And one thing I liked to do was to pretend to be a detective. And so I would go out and I'd listen for things and I'd write it all down. Well, one thing I also did was listen in on phone conversations, trying to solve the case of whatever case it was. And I overheard my mom and my dad fighting on the phone. And my dad made a comment about, my mom said, well, you didn't even come to hear her sing her first solo at church. And my dad goes, well, she's no Mariah Carey.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say I was in the 4th grade, maybe. And to this day, I'll sing. That's part of my talk. I do sing in my talk. But it's still, anytime someone gives me a compliment on it, I'm automatically go, oh no, thank you, but no, like, and it's because of that comment. And I mean, immediately before that, all I wanted to do was be a singer. And after that, I wanted nothing to do with professional music. So those recordings, like, they affect you. One comment, and everybody has one. Everybody has one comment that they can think of that comes to mind that has shaped who they are, positive or negative. So yeah, that's my book.
Well, my goodness, I didn't know you sang in your
I
presentations.
do. Yeah.
That's so awesome. I
Thank
do that
you.
as well. So it's nice to know that, more people do it.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll come back to this subject, but one thing I've appreciated and learned about you is, and you even taught me it, that people long for authenticity. They want to see
Yes.
the real you, right? And
Yes.
following some of your posts on Instagram, you're great at that, right?
Thank
And so
you.
some people who are brand new to you, some things that they've heard some stories and, from your book, also that you sing, that you're professional all over the world, you're a speaker, you have a book, all these cool things. Tell us a bit more about your daily life right now.
Woof. Um, Man, we live in a lawless wasteland right now. There's no rules. There's no rules. There's no bedtimes. There's just when you're napping and when you're not napping. This has been hard. This has been really hard. I have good days and not good days. I have good moments and not good moments. I quit my full-time professional job at Disney back in 20. I went part-time in 2016. I went completely seasonal with them in very, very beginning of 2019 to pursue speaking full time. I had just hit where I felt like I made enough money to call myself full time, and then all of this hit. So it's really hard and it's really lonely. I've spent a lot of time by myself. And there are times where I'm just sad. I'm sad. I'm sad for our world. I'm sad for people who are away from their families. I'm sad for the seniors of this 2020 graduating class. I'm sad for little ones who don't understand why they can't hang out with their friends or go to see their teachers. I'm just sad. I'm sad because I don't know what this is going to look like this coming year. I want to believe that it's going to all be better by the summer and I'll be able to do all the gigs that I have lined up and that they won't cancel. But, I I don't know. And that unknowing is really scary. So I did an Instagram live a couple weeks ago, where I just kind of cried. Like I just was really real and just said, I'm sad. I'm really sad. And I don't want to be sad. I don't want to hurt, but I can't shake it. And it took me, so everything basically shut down right on my birthday. It was right around my birthday, around March 13th. And I had been speaking in Washington. I red eye flew to Virginia to speak at a conference, which canceled. But I had invited my mom because last year on my birthday, I was speaking in Vegas and I was by myself. And I was like, this is the single most depressing thing ever. So my mom flew out with me to see me speak on my birthday. Well, then it was canceled. So we ended up spending the weekend together. And this was before we knew just how bad. I'm talking so fast, my body's like, breathe. Before we knew just how bad it was. And we got to the airport to go, me to Orlando, my mom to Missouri. And I looked in my bag and my planner was gone. And I am a person where I can't do Google calendars. I wish I could, but I need to be able to look at my paper planner that is color coded because my brain does not always work. And so my planner's gone, nowhere to be found. And I lost it. I ugly cried in the airport. Bless my sweet baby mama's heart. She was like, I have to go. I love you, but I have to go. Oh, this sucks. So she was so sweet, but she didn't want to leave, but she had to. And I just cried. And of course, coronavirus. So no one's hugging anyone. No one will make eye contact with me. And it took me, because literally within the span of 24 hours, I lost 3 contracts. I lost all of the work that I do with Orange County Public Schools because I choreograph in some schools. I lost Disney and I lost Universal. Wow. All in the span of 24 hours. I won't in the span of 24 hours, which is pretty much every form of income that I have. So, and with it went my identity. As much as I don't want to admit that, my identity as a speaker, my identity as a choreographer, my identity as a character performer was all gone. And it felt like not only was the rug pulled out from under me, but then like the rug just decided to wage war on me and just like beat me with itself. So it took me about a week and a half before I was able to go live at all, before I was able to give any kind of words of encouragement. And the first video I made, I cried. So some days are great and some days I'm not okay. And what I've been trying to tell anyone who will listen is that that's okay. That's okay to not be able to function one day. And maybe the next day I send a couple emails and that's as much as I can do. I won't even share with you how many puzzles I've done. It's shameful. Puzzles I have done and how much Kraft macaroni and cheese I have eaten. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So that's kind of I have 5 things that I do every day. I brush and floss my teeth. I do my devotional. I do my gratitude practice. I make my bed and I clean out my cat's litter box.
Booyah.
Done. If I do those 5 things, and actually I haven't done all of those yet today. It's fine. It's fine. There's still time.
Yeah, you're welcome for reminding you, huh?
There's still time. So yeah, so that's that.
That's neat. Thank you for sharing that. So what I do, and when I talk to people, they're grateful that it happens. I like to focus on the 2 sides of life where we could either focus on being positive all the time and ignore that anything else happens, or you can always be negative. And of course, you don't want either of these. Yeah. You just have to admit that they both exist. Yeah. And so I like to consider myself a successful guy. You've had some awesome things in your life. And so hopefully people can at least see that people like us can have those hard times. Last weekend, I'm a guy who pushes and pushes and says, I know I can be successful, so I'm going to. I know what I should do. Yeah. But I get exhausted and then it's discouraging. And I say, oh, I know better. I shouldn't feel this way, yada, yada. But last weekend, it came to such a point that I just said, you know what? I don't do this very often, but I'm going to watch multiple movies all by myself and just feel better. And
Yep.
I did that for 3 days, and
Yep.
I'm so much happier this week, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You've got to take care. I'm a big believer that, and this is one thing that I sort of speak on, you have to take care of this and this before you can take care of everyone else. That comes a little bit back to my faith, but you have to, you can't give from an empty cup. And I, like, much like you, I push and I push and I push and I go and I go and I go. Like, not only do I give from an empty cup, I give my give cup away.
Right.
And so you have to take that time to, I know when you and I first talked, you were like, well, how are you staying productive? And I literally laughed out loud. I was like, that's cute that you think that I'm productive right now. That's adorable. That's hilarious. Because there are days where I'm not, and that's okay. Because right now, I'm not going to ask people to hire me as a speaker. I'm not going to ask people, because no one knows. No one knows what the future is going to look like. We will bounce back from this. We will come back stronger than ever. There will be speakers. I was having a really tough time. A really, really tough time. I had listened in on a conversation, a Facebook Live, and the gentleman who I was listening to, while he is a very good speaker, he is wonderful, wonderful human, God-loving human, wonderful man. He made a comment about, to a question that I had asked, saying, hey, I'm a youth speaker. Like, I don't know how to pivot right now. Teens aren't going to pay money for anything. And he said, you know, if you are only making money by speaking, you're dead in the water. And that broke me, because I have worked so hard. Y'all, I've never taken a business class in my life, with the exception of Marie Forleo's online B school, her online business school. I was a music education major. Like, I don't know business, so I am completely self-taught, and with the help of Grant as well, with the speaker lab.
Right.
So it felt like a business person was saying, well, you're dumb. You're dumb for not doing this, not having an online course, not blah, blah, blah. And that he doesn't know me. He doesn't know my story. He doesn't know my walk. He doesn't know me. But that took all of the wind out of my sails. I was on a call. You were on that call, I think. And Rick was like, Kate, you okay? Because you don't seem very good. That was the next day after this had happened. Well, Grant actually texted me a couple days ago, and was just like, hey, I know Disney's furloughed. How you doing? And I said, well, I'm not great. This is hard. It's not even financially. Like, this is so hard emotionally. And he said, Kate, you have worked so hard. Here's the deal. Many speakers are not going to make it through this, because this is going to be a really hard storm to weather, and it's going to take a lot of patience, and it's going to take a lot of time. You are not going to be one of those speakers, because, and Ben, I feel very much about this with you as well. We do this because we love people. Mm-hmm. We do this because we love young people. We do this because we want to inspire people to be better. And while, yes, we do have to pay our bills, and yes, we have to live indoors and eat food, that is not the main reason why we're doing this. And I just believe, I call it God. Some people call it the universe. Some people call it energy. I call it God. Gave me this dream for a reason. So even though I may not be marketing as much as I normally do, not that I market a whole lot, or I'm not connecting with people like I normally do, that's okay, because we are going to weather this storm, and we're going to weather it together. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you. So to wrap up, I just kind of want to say what I said at the beginning, where what I teach, and I think we can relate on, is that we can shoot for the positive, and it's important to shoot for the positive. You can be successful. All tools to do that. Don't forget the human aspect of, you do have your hard times.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of the most meaningful days was actually Easter Sunday. And I listened to a song by a popular singer, Sissel. I don't know if you know her.
Mhm.
She sings a song, Slow Down. And oh my goodness, that was what I needed. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's okay. Even when you're like, well, I got to get ahead of the curve. I got to be successful. I got to do this, this, this. Slowing down is okay. And it's so helpful.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Amen.
Okay. Any final words before we hear how to connect with you?
Yeah. Anybody listening to this, just know that your feelings are valid. Whether you are feeling scared or anxious or happy or relieved or sad, any feeling that you are walking through right now is justified and I want you not only to feel those feelings but to lean into them. This is We are living history right now. We are living, and how cool is that? I'm really inspired by this 2020 graduating class because they are like, they came into the world during 9/11, and now this is happening during their graduation. Like, what a story they're going to be able to tell. So anyone listening to this, just please know that you matter. Like, you matter, your feelings matter. Where you're at, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be anxious. And please, 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 please reach out for help if you need anything. You don't have to go through any of this alone. Please, please reach out for help.
Absolutely. I echo that. So thank you, Kate.
You're
So
so
how do
welcome.
people get a hold of you if they'd like to connect?
Yeah. You can follow me on all social media at Kate Garnes Live. That's KateGarnesLive. Or you can visit my website, kategarnes.com. And you can find my book on Amazon. Or if you direct message me, I will send you an autographed copy.
Oh, very nice.
So,
Okay. Well, thanks again, Kate.
you're so welcome.
Later.
Have a good one.
See ya.